Okay.
Then minimize this and do the Control L.
Here you mean?
Yes. And then
Okay. So once again, it's my pleasure to announce the lecture of Janne Taipalus of University of Jyväskylä, who will talk about Sobolev spaces on extended metric topological measure spaces. Please.
Thank you very much, and I'd also like to thank the organizers. It's very great to be here and talk about this. And so my topic is Sobolev spaces on these EMTM spaces, as I like to call them, since saying the whole name gets old pretty fast. And what are these extended metric topological measure spaces? I'd like to think them as like extended metric spaces with some weaker topology, so that we can do some kind of nice things like in functional analysis when we consider weaker topologies. And so here's the definition. So we'll consider these sets of bounded Lipschitz functions that are continuous with respect to the topology tau. The Lipschitz condition, of course, is checked with respect to the metric. And then we have this definition for the extended metric topological space, or EMT space for short. So we want tau to be the initial topology. So it's the coarsest topology that makes those continuous. And we want this sort of a distance recovery formula to hold. And from this, it follows actually that the distance, it's not necessarily continuous with respect to tau, but it is lower semi-continuous. So there is this connection with them. And when we put a finite radon measure, radon properties checked with respect to topology, pretty much everything topological is checked with respect to topology, and the metric is therefore like Lipschitz condition mostly. So we put the radon measure there and we get this extended metric topological measure space, or EMTM space. And on the next slide I have some examples of these. So metric measure spaces where you consider the topology given by the metric. So these are just the familiar guys, but we do assume that the measure is finite. So yes. And then there's this abstract Wiener space that I put a bit more detail about. So it's a separable Banach space that has a topology that is induced by the norm, and it has this Gaussian measure, and we define the distance by considering this Cameron-Martin subspace. So it's a Hilbert space inside this Banach space, so that the translation works nicely. The motivation for this type of definition is that in probability theory, like if you consider Gaussian measures in Rn, then you can do this translation, and there's a nice formula for it. And the question is, what happens if we go to infinite dimensions? And especially when we go to this separable Banach space, it turns out that the translation does not work nicely to every direction, but there is this dense subspace that it works nicely towards. And I'm bringing this example up because this is the main motivation of Savare, Erbar, and Ambrosio, that they were researching these Wiener spaces, and they defined this sort of Wiener-like framework that they called the EMTM spaces, and they used it to research this. So this is kind of the motivation that originally came birth to this, but I also think that this could be used in metric measure spaces. And also this kind of supports my idea that it's kind of a generalization of using this weaker topology in Banach spaces, since the Banach space with weak topology and dual Banach space with weak star topology are also examples of EMTM spaces. And on the next slide I have a small proposition proven by Enrico Pascaletto, Timo Schulz and me, that if we have a compact Hausdorff space and we put this extended pseudometric, so by pseudometric I mean here that it can get the value 0 also if x does not equal y, so it vanishes. So we have this that this triplet is an EMTM space if and only if D is tau lower semi-continuous. So yeah, just yeah. But next, let's talk about Lipschitz functions a bit more. So one crucial thing that we'd want to be able to do is to extend these Lipschitz functions, and an immediate question is, can we extend them? And as has been talked about in many talks here, there's this McShane-Whitney theorem that gives you these ways to extend Lipschitz function from any set in a metric space, but we also need to preserve the tau continuity. And well, it's not preserved, and this is upper semi-continuous and this is lower semi-continuous, and these inps and subs are going exactly the wrong way, that we aren't preserving even semi-continuity. So what do we do? Is everything lost? Well, I suggest that we find a paper from 26 years ago that happens to have the exact result we need. So there's this paper by Eva Matouskova where she studied these functions that were tau continuous and Lipschitz, so she studied this a bit earlier, not in the context of EMTM space, but anyway. So there's this long condition that if x tau is normal and every closed R neighborhood is closed and all this stuff, then we get that the extension exists. But the point is that example situation, for example, is that for tau compact EMT spaces this holds, and also for dual Banach space with weak star topology. And this is not that restrictive, because one benefit of these EMT spaces is what we are going to talk about next. So there's this compactification, and it was proven by Savare that any EMTM space can be continuously embedded into a compact EMTM space. The image is dense here, and every Lipschitz functions uniquely extends to a Lipschitz function there, and we also get a radon measure that is concentrated on the image of the embedding. So now we move on to talk about the Sobolev spaces, and I'd like to first talk about these QQ derivations. We need this for the first Sobolev space. So we say that this sort of linear operator that gains values in LQ is a QQ derivation if this Leibniz rule holds and we have this sort of boundedness by this asymptotic Lipschitz constant. And also if it has a divergence that is in LQ, such that this sort of integration by parts formula holds. And then we can also put this sort of a norm of this derivation by taking the minimal LQ function that satisfies this for every Lipschitz function f. So we can define the Sobolev space by using these derivations. So we define this sort of differential, this sort of linear operator that is sort of like a differential, I think, because it acts on derivations, and derivations are like vector fields in some sense. So we have again this sort of a boundedness condition, and then we have this sort of linearity, or like this sort of that you can take the Lipschitz function out there, because you can like multiply these derivations by Lipschitz functions and still get a derivation. And then we got this integration by parts formula, and we denote this minimal G that satisfies this as this sort of dfw, which is sort of this norm of the gradient kind of function. And on the next slide I'll introduce the other Sobolev space that I'm going to talk about. So this was actually already talked about in at least one talk on Monday. So we take this sort of relaxation by using this G-P energy functional, and we just say that it's the space of functions that have finite G-P energy. So because we can't talk like about classical derivatives, so we have this sort of something that is kind of like it. And then there exists this relaxed slope also in our case. So you can find this function and you can integrate over it and get the G-P energy. So are these Sobolev spaces equivalent is usually an interesting question, and I think we will usually want it to be true, and it is true. They are equivalent, was proven by Enrico and I in a paper, and the gradients agree. And we don't even need to assume any sort of completeness here, we just obtain this result in any sort of this space. I'd also like to mention this other theorem. So I didn't really have time to go in detail about this B1P Sobolev space that is defined via these Q test plans. So these are just some kind of measures on curves, so it just lets us talk about like these good curves or throw out some bad curves when defining our Sobolev space. And we obtain the result that if we assume that the space is complete with respect to the metric, then the Sobolev spaces agree. But if you drop the completeness assumption, then you get that this space by derivations is a subset of this space by Q-test plans. And I mentioned the compactification earlier, so there's also one last thing I'd want to mention, and that's that we have this isomorphic representation when we take the compactification of this Sobolev space. So this was proven by Savare for this Sobolev space by a relaxation. So we say that the isomorphic represent that this space is an isomorphic representation of this space if there is a measure preserving embedding and it induces a linear isomorphism such that the gradient stays the same. And here's some paper. So here's the paper this talk was mostly based on. Here's a paper you can find on arXiv by Enrico, Timo Schultz and I, where we discuss limits and co-limits of these spaces and check that everything works out. Here's a chapter in this book, and the chapter was written by Savare. It's a very good source in learning this. Here's the original paper for this setting, and here's Matoskova's paper where we found the extension result. And I think it's time to say thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Janne, for your nice lecture. Any comments, questions?
Is it time to be space in this setting? So where space is the kind of
I think we probably haven't we didn't consider that. Yeah.
So,
You probably could do it. Yes.
yeah.
This probably is, I mean, that's a very natural second, but I'm under the impression that maybe Enrico Pascoletto might have thought a little bit about this P equals 1 case. And what about this definition, Newtonian Sobolev space definition with upper gradients? We didn't yeah.
Yes. So I didn't talk about it in here, but the Newtonian Sobolev space was actually considered by Savare here, and he proved that it agrees with the assumption of decompleteness with the other Sobolev spaces. I'm not fully certain if that condition is necessary. It might be. At least it's with the Q-test plans, so I will assume that it probably is.
Any more questions or remarks? If not, let's thank Janne again. Let me remind you, Tomasz will remind you.
Yes, thanks. So let me just remind you that the conference dinner is at 5 p.m. at Impan in the social room.